Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Kia K5 GT. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Jerry Sander Kia here in Salt Lake for giving me some time with this K5. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide as well. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbo 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 23 around town and then 33 on the highway, with power outputs being 290 horsepower and then 311 pound-feet of torque. Now, before I move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, I like the K5's design. It's very sharp looking. Speaking of sharp, look at the headlight design. It's like little lightning bolts but in orange. It's really cool. So the fog light down below, the grill's all blacked out with this, so there's a nice contrast between the gray and the black on this particular model. Now our steering wheel setup is 245 by 40 by 19 in the front and over in the rear, and you can see here we've got the acid green brake calipers. That's a pretty cool look if you ask me. Mirror cap blacked out, and then you guys can see here with all of the chrome trim. And then taking a few steps back, look at the side profile. Again, it's a sharp looking car. Now this leads us to the key fob. Got the Kia logo here on the front and on the back. We have our lock and our unlock function. We've got the opening for the trunk, remote start function on the back, and we'll hold that down and that will pop it open. Now when it comes to cargo space, it's pretty dang solid. So the K5 is not Kia's smallest car. That would be the K4 nowadays here in the US market at least, but yeah, still solid. Pull tabs here to throw on the seats as well. It's nicely labeled. And popping that down, you can see the Kia logo here, and then we got this cool light bar design on the back, like the little GT badge. That's pretty cool looking. But let me know what you guys think about the exterior, especially with this crazy, look at the exhaust tips on this. That's funky looking, but let me know what you think about the looks. And then popping inside, you guys can see we've got soft touch trim here, and then look at the neon stitching down below. I think that's pretty cool looking. And then that continues onto the seats. Neon, it's the GT way with Kia. Got a little storage pocket. We've got some vents here, USB ports as well. And then headroom back here, this does kind of come down a little bit, but it's not too bad. And this leads us up front. So again, plenty of soft touch trim throughout. See all the window controls there. Mirrors to blind spot monitoring. And then here's the front seat, again with that acid green stitching all over. It is power adjustable, by the way. And then you do get nice trim here on the dash. And then the steering wheel looks like it's manually adjustable. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see soft touch all around. You got the GT logo there at the bottom. Paddle shifters here on the back for the 8-speed. Bunch of practical controls in front, including our adaptive cruise control, lane centering, volume and voice command controls as well. And then you can see here with the traditional stocks there on the back. And what's not so traditional is the gauge cluster, so fully digital, which you can scroll through. It's pretty cool to see stuff like tire pressure and everything. And then we also have the drive mode select. Now it doesn't really do anything crazy, just kind of changes the drive modes, but that's all. Just a regular backup camera in reverse. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, quick to respond. It's all connected in one unit with the gauge cluster, but the gauge cluster is not touchscreen, but obviously this section is. I guess this is the future. But next to it, you've got this trim that goes to the vent. It's kind of interesting how it just goes straight across in the line, but then you've got more of that here to the central vents. Speaking of vents, climate controls. This has this setup that some people like, some people don't. It just depends on your definition of what's nice design. And then we've got charging area, this whole section. Shifter here for the 8-speed. Got some cup holders right next to that. And then a bunch of physical controls, so for like your auto hold, your parking brake, parking sensors for the camera. Heated seats, no cooled seats with this. We do have your drive mode select. A little storage there, and then more in the center console. While we're on the top of storage, pretty normal sized glove box. And then just a regular rear view mirror, and then we do have a panoramic sunroof up top. So here's our one sticker for the K5 GT, and front wheel drive still. $34,925 is the total MSRP on this. And let's see how it performs. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Visibility of the hood, both mirrors, do a blind spot warning, and through the rest of the rear. And let's set off in the K5 GT. Let's put the radios on a little bit. Ah! This is the one thing I don't like about this system. I clicked the wrong thing and now I turned up the climate controls. Got little fat pudgy fingers. Doesn't work out with this system. Does this thing have auto hold on? I absolutely despise auto hold. I like it in manuals because then I can be lazy. Do not like it in automatics because it just, yeah, I understand some people like it. For me, not so much. Also, I did this the worst way that I could have. I should have just pulled up more there and whatever. You know what? I just always, I could pull back and forth a little bit more so, but I'm always just cautious. Because I mean, that thing's probably like 70 grand. This thing's 30 grand. So hitting a $30,000 car into a $70,000 car, that's not a good day at work. So, seats are comfortable. I'm surprised they don't have the cooled function because they're perforated. Like, it looks like they're all set up to have that and then they don't have it. Strange, right? Aside from that, I like the interior, generally speaking. I think it's a pretty nice place to be. So this is cool, kind of the trim on the dash. It's just a sporty appearance. And the touch points actually feel pretty solid, especially for a $30,000 car. Good power so far. Yeah, great torque. Just barely get into it. Getting 311 pound-feet. The ride's pretty good. The K5 is just long enough that you get not quite a luxury experience, but I would say a luxe enough experience with the car. I feel like I'm getting no air. It is on defrost. It was doing AC, but it was doing it to the windshield. No wonder I feel hot. But aside from that, I mean, this is impressive, like how far Kia has come with these interiors. And this feels, I mean, some of these touch points and everything feels just as solid as what you have with some luxury manufacturers. At least I think it's quite impressive. That train is still there. I've done 2 full car reviews and that train is still there. What in the world? So I guess we'll be going the boring driving route, but you know, when life gives you lemons, you make car reviews. Yeah, super smooth. 8-speed, it's great. It's really a great setup. Let's pop it into the sport mode here. Yeah, I just don't really have anything negative to say about the driving characteristics of this. I think they've done a good job, again, considering the price point. That's the big thing that you have to kind of take into account, is what this is priced at. When you look at that, it's quite impressive. Woohoo! That was quick. That was definitely quick. Those acid green brake calipers, they clamp on well too. It's impressive. I'm gonna kind of, there's no one behind me, so I'm gonna just wait here a second. It's fun. It's fun. Puts down the power a lot better than it did in the past. They must have done some tweaks to make that better, which is good. It's good. This is completely unrelated, but you know what I think would be really funny? A wildlife documentary on like the plants and everything that grow around the highway infrastructure. I think that'd be so funny. Just like David Attenborough just narrating, and they just show this stuff and you think you're like in the middle of Africa, and it's like, nope, this is just on the side of the highway, the little part there. But back to the K5, I like it a lot. I think that this with the GT package, I think that it drives quite well. It's got great power, it looks good, the interior is nice as well, and it's just a solid setup. So if you're looking for a fun, affordable, enthusiast type car, I think that's what this provides. It still gets good gas mileage, and it's great for daily driving, so there's not really a lot of downsides. Front wheel drive, but snow tires, and you'll be fine in all 4 seasons with front wheel drive. So, because, you know, the weight's over the wheels that move. All of them move, but the wheels that have power, there you go. Let me know what you think.